to see how this looks. No, that's not good. All right. Trying to get that light out of the frame, but that's a little better. The fun of streaming in your basement. All right, that's a little. That's all right. So, had a couple ideas for this live stream, and it's kind of be a little bit of an overview of some of the different things I want to do this year for the channel. Just like what kind of videos I'm looking forward to make, as well as some things I already have lined up, things I know I'm going to do, and then things I kind of hope to do. So I'll just kind of wait a minute here, let more people hop on before I start talking about that kind of stuff, because I said I'd start at 8:30, so it's just 8:30 right now. So if I just give it a minute, I know more people saw the notification, so I'll give them a minute or two to hop on. So I think I'll just talk about what baits I'm going to use first thing of the year. So I actually am going to try fishing tomorrow, which sounds a little crazy considering I'm in Northwest Ohio, and it's going to be 40 degrees. However, one nice thing about that is that it's going to be low wind, so I think it's going to be worth it just by that metric. We'll see if I do any good. But it's been kind of cold last few days. We had a kind of an uptick in temperature last week. So we'll see. I'm not sure how it'll go. But things I got on deck. So I'm going to try out a shaky head with like a stick worm. I have two different colors of lipless crankbait I know I'll throw. Gold and then red are my two favorite colors to throw this time of year. Mostly because I think that red gets their attention, but then gold's flashy. So that's what I kind of go for those. Thank you for the good luck. We'll see how it goes. And then, of course, I got spinnerbait. That's something I usually have, but normally I don't have as good of luck with that till later on in the year, usually around April. Then I have a football jig. I'm going to give that a shot. And then I have a slobber knocker, a bladed jig tied on. And then the last thing I have is kind of a weird bait, but I wanted to give it a try. It's the Yama Tanuki. It's a Yamamoto bait. I figured I would just try it. I watched some videos of people using them. It intrigued me just because it's so unusual. And I don't fish soft plastics a lot. It's something I need to up my game on. So I'll give that a shot, and we'll see how that goes. So those are just some of the things I'm planning to throw tomorrow. I can also throw some finesse underspins if I so choose. So we'll see about that. But other than that, I don't really have a lot of other things I'm going to bring. I have a couple bags of soft plastics and then just one container. So it's about all I'm going for. Like I said, we'll see how I do. It'll be nice just to get the kayak out, mostly because I have not actually used the kayak that I own. Excuse me. I bought it last fall at the end of the season and never even was able to take it out. So it's going to be nice just from that aspect. Whether I can fish or not, that's just going to be icing on the cake. Just be nice to get back out of the water and throw rod and reel a bit. Then we'll see. I'm going to a small pond. I'm going to record myself. I don't know how I'll go, of course, but it's kind of just a wait and see thing. And as far as the channel, so I figured I would talk about what some of the things I was planning to do this year. So something I'm going to continue is the tackle corner videos. I'm going to do those throughout the year. Once it becomes fishing time, I think I'm going to limit those to 2 or 3 times a month. I've been kind of putting them out weekly, but once I get actual fishing content going, I'm going to be doing more time editing that stuff. So I figure that's what I'm going to be doing. And then also I plan to do some live streaming, maybe once or twice a month. I just want to kind of see how that goes. I've been given some tips that doing live streams is helpful for watch time. So I'm just going to give that a shot. That's partly why I was doing it today. But we'll see. It's a kind of a less pre-work going into doing a live stream than one of my recorded videos. Sometimes it'll be like the 8th or 9th take is what you're actually seeing by the time I put it out. So I do a lot of practice into those just because I want to have the best product possible. And sometimes I get my take messed up, or one of my cats interrupts the scene. They like to bang on the door to the basement and be obnoxious, which is funny, but makes it difficult for finishing a 10-minute video. So obviously I'm going to record myself when I go fishing. Try to do that every time I go outside of horrendous weather. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing I have going, I have 2 video series planned where I'll be doing a competition with another kayaker. I got one with Billy Kayaks that I'm got scheduled for late March, early April, and then one with Southwest Indiana Kayaker. I have one. We're going to do a long distance challenge, but it's going to be kind of like a pick your honey hole type of deal, and we'll do a challenge in that way. For the one with Billy Kayaks, we're actually going to meet up at a place neither of us have ever fished, and we're going to try that out. I think it'll be fun. He's done a lot of stuff with fishing content in the state. If you do any kind of tournaments, you're probably familiar with him, Billy Chambers. But that's going to be a fun one. We're both excited to try it out, and the format for that is going to be kind of hilarious. Basically, what we're going to be doing is rolling dice to decide what lure we're going to use. So I think that's going to be for some comedic effect, probably, but I'm interested to see how that goes. And then other than that, I think for as far as video content goes, I might do some different videos that are not entirely fishing 100% related. I want to do some more stuff like, well, I shouldn't say videos, parts of my videos. So with my actual fishing videos, I found myself editing them down to shorter than what they ended up being a lot of times. And what I would like to do is get better at filming like the whole deal. A lot of times I was just kind of filming when I was catching fish. And I think what I need to do more is kind of film the experience. And so one thing I'm going to do is film myself a little bit before I start, film myself more during the day talking, and then after do kind of like a recap. I think that'll be helpful, get people maybe hooked into the video a little more. But I also think it'll be good for engagement and just trying out different things. And then you get a little more insight into like what I do when I'm out there. And a lot of it was limited to how much battery life I had with my GoPro. I got a different GoPro setup this year, and I think that's going to be a game changer when it comes to filming. So I'm excited to do that. We'll see how it goes. But I'm really excited to give that a shot. I got a mount that's going to be behind me, behind my right shoulder, and then I'm still going to have the chesty. So we'll see how that goes. Trying to combine those clips. I've gotten better with the video editing, especially with my last video of fishing with the peacock bass. I found a lot more tools with iMovie, and I like the results. So I'm going to give that a shot. Now, one thing I did say I was going to do was give away a lure tonight. I see I got 4 people on stream. So I'm thinking that if I get a 5th person on here in the next couple minutes, I'll give away a lure. And it'll be one of the lures that I just mentioned that I'll be using for tomorrow. And I'll give, like I said, I'm going to give one of those all those lures are shot tomorrow, and I'm thinking I'll just give away an extra of one of those things. So the reminder, if you weren't on, I had football jig, spinnerbait, lipless crankbait, slobber knocker, shaky head and worms, and then the Yamanatuki. So we'll see. Well, like I said, I'll give away one of those to somebody randomly. If you're on the stream right now, currently watching, just drop a comment so I can track who's in here. I just saw Southwest Indiana Outdoors just commented, so I know you're in here. And then anyone else who's still watching, just do a quick comment so I can record you. And then if we get a fifth person on, I'll give one of these lures away. While I'm waiting for that, I had one other thing I was going to talk about if I can find it. Oh, there it is. So one thing I do when I'm on the water with my fish finder is I have a kind of a interesting setup for my battery. Most people take a 12 volt. I have what's called a 12 volt equivalent. And what it is, it's actually a tiny little battery that I can plug into the wall to charge it. And it's really small and compact. It runs my fish finder all day. And I really like it. But one of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to try to see if I can work a way to get that to use for my rear GoPro. Right now, I have basically what's like an external storage, like not external storage. It's just like one of those big battery packs people use for charging things. I think that'll be okay, but I really don't know what kind of battery life I'm going to get out of it. So tomorrow's going to be a good test to see how long the camera lasts, because I'm not really too sure how that's going to go. So we will see kind of how that goes. Oh, and it looks like I just had a fifth person hop on. So if you're on the stream right now, I got 3 people that have recently commented. So those other 2 people, if you could comment, I can do that giveaway of one of my lures that I was talking about. And that way I can send it out to you. So I got 3 comments. That means there's 2 other people watching that either aren't commented. I don't know if that means you just don't have a YouTube channel and you can't comment, but I'll give you a second if you're trying to figure that out. Not sure. All right, Paul's in here. Okay, that's 4. Not sure if Luke is still on here. Luke Outdoors, if you're still watching the stream, could you just leave another comment so I make sure that I throw you in here? No. Well, I don't know, Michael. It would be kind of advantageous for you because I might just hand you the lure tomorrow. But if you don't want to be counted, that's fine. That'll give everyone else a chance. However, one of the people is my wife, so I don't think I'm going to count her in the count because then I'll just be handing the lure back to myself. So let's see. All right, that's okay. I'm still waiting. There's got to be someone. It says 6 people in here, so I don't know if Luke just left his computer, but I'll throw him in the contest. He's a faithful watcher. So let me beat me with my lures. Who said we have to catch a fish first? That's Michael who's commenting. We're fishing tomorrow. Fishing, more probably kayaking. It's probably what it's more likely going to be. But you know, it's nice to get out in February. It's not often you can say that in Ohio. So it's just one of those deals where we've had some weird weather. Ice out was super early. Not really typical. But it'll be nice to see. So let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, ice fishing. Never done that. I don't really have a lot of interest in it, to be honest. Okay. Well, I will. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Well, you got a 1 in 4 shot. And it looks like number 4. So that means that's going to be Paul. So, Paul, what I'm going to do is I will leave up to you which of those lures you might be interested in. So the choices were spinnerbait, lipless crankbait, bladed jig, football jig, like Senko type lure, and then the Yamanatuki. That'd be the only one you might have to wait a little bit because I only have the one. So comment your choice, and I will. Everything else I have lots of. So unless you got your heart set on the Yamamoto. Well, while we wait for Paul to decide what that lure might be, maybe I will hold them all up in front of the screen. That might help them a little bit. Spinnerbait, yeah, okay. Well, if that is the case, if you go over to Venom Lures, I'm going to put the link in the chat. You just tell me which one, because chances are I probably have one. So just tell me what color you're interested in. If you got size preference, weight, you can tell me that too. They're all the same price, so it doesn't really make a difference. But I'll just link one of them, my personal favorite, the double turtleback. I'll throw the link in there. And then you just let me know the color, and then I will get that out to you. And Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you've won a lure before. If that's correct. But yeah, I thought so. Okay, so I got your information. So yeah, just shoot me an email then, what color you're thinking, then I can get that sent out to you. Now, tomorrow, my thought process is kind of twofold for tackling the water. So like I said, I had all those lures laid out that I talked about. But typically this time of year, I try a lot of things and end up just catching everything on a lipless crankbait. So this time I have 2 different brands I like to use a lot. I have the Cotton Cordell, which is like the cheapo ones. I have tons of these because last year the bass just destroyed them. And then I have what's a little more expensive. It's the Z63 from Arc, and that one's a favorite of mine. I've caught some decent fish on that one. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to have one rod with Cotton Cordell and then one rod with the Arc. But I'm debating on whether to do 2 with the same color or one color on the other one. Because what I kind of want to narrow down is which sound they prefer. Because last year I couldn't tell if it was color or the actual lure brand was what they were going for. I had a hard time deciding that because I'd have some days where the Arc would be good, but I was really only using a red one. So I went out and got a gold one, and I really like the color of it. It's the golden black, which is one of my favorite colors for a crankbait. But as you can see, you want to compare them. They're similar in color, similar. They got a lot of similarities, but they move a lot different in the water. So I think that has more to do with it because when you're using a moving bait, the bass doesn't really get a great look at it to begin with, especially something like a crankbait or a lipless crankbait, because you're not usually fishing them particularly slow. I don't know how much of a look they get at it to where they're like, oh, they key in on the color of it. So I think they just notice it. So I'm going to try 2 different colors. I think it's more going to be about which sound they prefer. So we'll see. I like them both. The Arcs last a lot longer. I mean, the Cotton Cordell, you get what you pay for. They're $4, but they catch fish. They catch fish well. But like I said, I think I went through about 4 of them last year versus the Arcs I've had 2 or 3 years now, and they're still totally fine. So they definitely are a lot more durable, and the paint doesn't wear off. The Cotton Cordells, I wonder if I have it laying around anywhere. And I show you what I mean. If I saved it. Oh, yeah, here it is. So the bass, when they strike it, they hit it basically in the same spot every time. And I can show you how beat up 2 of these are. I have so many of these gold liplesses from Cotton Cordell because they're cheap. But you can actually see, show you a new one versus one that I've thrown a lot. But you can look on the bottom. I'll try to show it. You can actually see, you can see that line where the bass is biting it. And you can tell how it's been beat up. It's shiny, so it's hard to tell. But basically, you can see the outline of where the bass has grabbed it. Versus one that's new, doesn't have that problem. You can see that a little better. Okay, if I hold it like that, you can actually see it. So, see that? You can see the line that's on the bait where that bass is actually grabbing the crankbait. And as you know, when you're throwing it, it's going like this. So it's grabbing it a lot of times, which is strange to me, is that it's grabbing it from the front almost. So a lot of times I think they're hitting it from the side and not chasing it. I found that interesting when I was looking at the bite pattern because it seems to be in like almost the same place. So I wonder if sometimes they grab it and they're actually pulling it in their mouth, and that's why it's got that, how it's roughed up like that. I'm not totally sure, but it's certainly interesting. But that's the deal. Like I said, those are some of the plans I had for the channel. Appreciate everybody tuning in for that. Just some of my ideas. But I'm going to put up I'm going to keep doing the weekly polls for the Tackle Corner. I appreciate the feedback if you've been giving me that for topics. I think they've worked out pretty well. The stuff that people have voted for seem to be doing well with the YouTube algorithms. A couple of my Tackle Corner videos are performing really good, especially the spinnerbait one. I'm thinking that lure-specific videos might be kind of the thing to go for. So what I think I'll do for my next Tackle Corner video, I'll choose another lure. Okay. Double turtleback, hidden head, chartreuse shad, or any color. Okay. I will remember that. You got a particular size that you want. Myself, I usually go for the 1/2 ounce or the 3/8, but if you have a preference, just let me know. Yep, that's, to me, 1/2 ounce is the perfect size for spinnerbaits, but also for bladed jigs. Almost all the bladed jigs I throw are 1/2 ounce. Slobber knocker is my favorite, but for the spinnerbaits, I also throw the 1/2 ounce. Now, this is just a random tip. I think one of the nice things is that your chatterbait and your spinnerbait are going to be a similar setup. And if you're someone that's trying to save a few bucks or trying to eliminate how much things you're taking out, so you're not have the luxury of taking out 7 combos, if you throw a similar weighted chatterbait to what your spinnerbait is, you don't have to tune up your baitcaster as much if you're switching between them, because it's going to be the same weight when you're casting. I found that's really helpful, because one thing that I've done when I've gotten birds' nests, a lot of times it's because I've switched weights while I was, and I didn't adjust the baitcaster. Very rarely do I get a bird's nest because of just me doing a normal cast. It's almost always because I forgot to do something. Really nothing to do with the lure or the reel itself. But thanks everybody for popping in. I think I'll do some more of these live streams coming up. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. And Paul, I'll get that spinnerbait out to you. I think maybe I'll make that kind of like a monthly thing. So if you hop on for a live stream, I'll do a lure giveaway. Maybe I'll advertise that and get some more people in. And if I get, next time I say if I get 10 people on the stream, maybe I'll give away 2. We'll see how it goes. But thanks for stopping by.